Shalom, shalom. I'm the brother Marakab. But first and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Rakak Kudash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of the great millstone, and all the Akim out there that pushing this truth with nothing but sincerity in the name of Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai. So with that, shalom. And he's doing like a little study and things like that, though. And, the apostles, they're always on point, man, about everything. you know According to the scriptures, even outside the scriptures, though, things advise, these men, man, are the men, man, they're the leaders of the world, man. you know and they never miss, though, man. And they say if they even do miss a little bit, which is rare, they correct themselves, man. But it's rare for that to happen, though, with them. But so yeah, and then what I'm talking about is the Zechariah 13 and 8, because some people, I don't know if it was IUIC or some people break this differently, though, and yeah, some people break this differently, though, and they say the land is, I don't know what the hell they say. They say the land is Israel or something to do with that, which I would understand. I would get it, though, because it'd be like, oh, it will take place throughout the land, but 144. And but now, when it talks about the land, it's talking about America, because it says the refining of the remnant of Israel. So, talking about the electo, right? The elect in the third, right? So so I'll read it though. Zechariah 13 and 8, it says, and this will take place throughout the land, says the Most High. 2/3 in it will be cut off and die, but 1/3 will be left in it, just 144,000, and which, the women and children, though, man, gonna be saved, though. You see what I'm saying, though? So 144,000 is part in there, and 2/3 out of, if you're talking about 100 percentage, though, 2/3 is 66.6, and if you're talking about all the Israelites, though, that live here in America, it's a whole bunch of us, though, man. So it's gonna be a whole lot of deaths, though, that's coming here, from the famine to the pestilence to the the what they call the natural disasters. Like a bunch of things are happening, though, and the ICBM missiles and the angels, are the nail, the nail in the coffin, though. So us Israelites, though, we're so many here in America. That means that's a lot of depths, though, like I'm saying, though, So if that were to happen, though, so it has to be Jacob's trouble, though, right? You know what I'm saying, though? Because all these things come to pass, though, it has to be, because, there's some different camps, though, or there's people that say Jacob's trouble already happened, though. You know what I'm saying? They're saying Jacob's trouble already happened and things like that. They like to say Jacob's trouble was, I don't know if they say it's when it's the 70 AD sage or the time of Jeremiah, though. Because it's in the, Jacob's troubles is in the book of Jeremiah, though. But the thing about it, though, is Jacob's trouble, we are in Jacob's trouble, man, but it hasn't came in full effect, though, yet. This whole thing about the EBT, though, you know what I'm saying? People are already like, Jake, though, is already like, stealing food, So that's the thing. But anyways, so, I click here, right? It says, this pretty much breaks it down, right? The verse, it goes off sometimes, this thing, but, sometimes it's on point. So it says, because 13 and 8, 9, it says right here, these verses probably refer to the end of this age, which is not probably, it is. It says, compare Zechariah 14 and 2. It says, in the future, there will be a time of terrible trouble for Israel. And look at the precepts, right? Daniel 12 and 1, Matthew 24 and 15, and then boom, see? Jeremiah 30 and 7. And what is Jeremiah 30 and 7? So it says, Jacob's trouble. So it is a time of Jacob's trouble. So you see what I'm saying though? So this is a prophetic precept though, man. So this is about to happen though. So the 2/3 though is, are people that are degenerates though, man. They're no good though. You know, that's who the 2/3 are. These wicked ass people, from the male and female, that they're gonna get judged though, man. You see what I'm saying though? So that's who the 2/3 are, man. The 2/3 are people. Don't get me wrong though. So when it's Jacob's trouble, it's also gonna be Esau's trouble and these other heathens' trouble though, man. Because all these things that are happening in the world though are gonna also affect them too. You see what I'm saying though? Because if you think about it, man, these heathens, right? These Arabs, these Moab though, they got these places like the Chinese place. They got bodegas. They got fucking the 7-Eleven though. All these motherfucking places are owned by this heathen though. So if Jake ain't going up in there buying their shit, guess what, man? They're gonna have to close shop, you know? So they're not gonna be making money though. And there's a prophecy in the scriptures though that talks about how the people are gonna go back to their land though, you know? But that's the thing about it though, man. So, you know, our people, man, our people, look at the thing is though is our people, they don't got no EBT, right? So what are our people gonna do? Steal. That's gonna result to what? Violence though. Our people are gonna get judged though. In the book of Psalms talks about Esau being the sword, you know? So that's the thing though, right? So if our people can't eat, they depend on the shadow of Egypt though, they're gonna do the most though, man. They're gonna do whatever they can. Thought I heard something. They're gonna do whatever they can to do what they have to do though, So it's gonna result to a lot of violence though, man. You know what I'm saying? Our people are already poor as it is though. So then imagine your so-called good person though, is gonna go result to what? Violence though, and able to feed their children though. You know what I'm saying though? So that's just the thing about it though, man. But the 144,000, they're gonna have faith though, man. You know what I'm saying though? They're gonna have faith though. So they're not gonna result into doing these type of activities where it's gonna result for them to, what I'm saying, get killed or get put in prison though. But it tells you in the scriptures that there's gonna be martyrs, of course. There's gonna be, the devil's gonna put the elect though in prison for, it says, for 10 days though, and things like that though. You know what I'm saying though? But the thing is though, the elect though is gonna have more faith. They're gonna be more spiritual than carnal though, While the 2/3 though, they gonna be doing carnal things though, man, which is gonna result for them to being killed though, man. You see what I'm saying though? So these 2/3, man, they're Israelites though, but they're gonna get judged though, man. And that's just the way it is though. You know what I'm saying though? So a lot of our people are gonna get judged though, man. And that's the thing about it though. So, the laws and statutes and commandments though, or Yahweh in general, is only for certain people though, man. He ain't for everybody though, because in Revelation 1:7, it talks about how he's coming down, like a travail, and he's gonna do a lot of, and the people in different nations are gonna be wailing, and they're gonna be and mourning all that stuff though, man. So what does that represent? A lot of death though, man. You see what I'm saying though? So he's only, like I said, the 2/3 though of the people is talking about these Israelites though, man, that are a bunch of degenerate niggas and shit, man. Because in Jeremiah, I believe it talks about is it 3:15? No. Yeah, well, 3 and 13, I get that. It says, only acknowledge thy iniquity that thou hast transgressed. Who can only transgress against the Most High? The Israelites. Against the Most High thy power, and has scattered thy ways to the strangers under every green tree, and yet you have not obeyed my voice, say the Most High. Yeah, because our people get caught up in, these philosophies and things like that, man. But they're not actually following the true power, which is Yahweh Shem Shai, though. So here they are following, what I mean, these holidays, Thanksgiving, fucking Christmas, the Easter and 4th of July and all this other shit, right? They're following those customs though of the world, but they ain't following the true power, which is Yahweh Shem Shai. And then being Israelites though, they're gonna get judged though, man. So that's just the way it is though. You know what I'm saying though? So, our people are wicked, man. Our people are wicked though, because it tells you in the scriptures, I believe is it Jeremiah? They have passed the deeds of what is it? I know it's in the book of Jeremiah. Yeah, there you go. 5:28. It says, Jeremiah 5:28, it says, they are waxing fat, they shine, yea, they overpass the deeds of the wicked. See? They judge not the cause of the fatherless, yet they prosper, and the right of the needy they do not judge. See? So, but it says, yea, they overpass the deeds of the wicked, man. So they're worse. Our people are even worse than Esau, man. Because even like being a Mo, it's always, go to Atlanta and shit, these black Mo's. I'm gonna call them black though, man, because they're darkness, evil, man. So the two thirds, man. And the brothers are actual brothers, man. I won't call them black though, I call them brothers though. But these jakes though that are evil, I'm gonna call them black, man. You know what I mean? Because they are nothing but darkness. These black motherfuckers that are Mo's and over there in Atlanta or anywhere else though, they're so proud though, man. They're putting it in your face though, man. So they be passing the deeds of the wicked, man. You see? And that's the thing about it, man. Our people, just like on YouTube, they sell drugs, they do all this shit, man. They need to get judged, man. Bunch of niggas, man. That's what they are, though, man. So you see how the state of our people, how they are, man. And it's like, damn, man. Like, how the fuck do you know what I mean? Like, they need to get judged, man. You know what I'm saying, though? So, anyways, like I said, the problem was that the breakdown of Zechariah 13:8 on that app, though, and how it's actually talking about the times are coming in, which they are coming soon here in America, man. So with that, hopefully it was edifying. Shalom.